Hi, my name's Heather. I'm an instructor for Bodypump with LesMills, and today I'm going to help you learn your choreography notes. I know it's a huge challenge learning your choreography for LesMills. Believe me, I feel your pain. I've been there. You look at someone taking an hour's class, you think, however do they do that? How do they remember it? I found that when I did my training, they don't really teach you a set way of learning your notes. They say, you know, maybe you can watch, maybe you like to do it, maybe you prefer listening to your tracks, but there was no real set way of doing it. So I kind of found my own set way of learning. I'm going to show it to you today. You'll probably find your own way eventually, but this is just the way that I find personally that I need to get it into my head. Okay, first thing is have a plan, have a set plan of how you're going to learn your choreography notes and stick to that plan. Once your brain works out this is the way we do it, it seems to work. It does get easier, gets a lot easier to learn. So first thing you want to do is get a good ring-bound notebook that you're going to take your notes in. I have tried using cards before. I found them a little bit small. You might get on with them fine, but I find it's better for me with a file of facts or a notebook. Okay, leave yourself plenty of time to learn your track. I can probably learn a whole track now. I would have thought in about 2 weeks. Initially, it took me a lot longer. I would need maybe 4 or 5 days to learn a single track. So don't rush yourself. As soon as you get that track, start learning it. The more you can spend time on it, the better you're going to be. The better you are, the more confident you're going to be when you stand in front of that class. Because when you've got 20 people looking at you, that is when you want to know that it's in your head and that you're not just going to stand there and go, oh my God. So first thing to do is watch your video and listen to your track, and then write out your choreography notes in your notebook. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then listen to the track along with your notes. Once you've watched it a few times, don't watch their video, listen to it and read your notes. Okay, right, so next thing I'm going to do is show you how I take my notes. So let's have a look at how we would write out the notes. Here are my notes for squat track 115 on Bodypump. Okay, as you can see, LesMills has just divided it into section 1, section 2, section 3 and section 4. But there's a lot in this squat track. There's an awful lot in it. It would be very difficult to memorise. So what I've done is I've had a look at it, and it actually breaks down this section and this section. Although they're different, it says 1 and 2, they're actually the same. 2-2 squat, 4-4, triple pulse, 1-1-2. Then it goes 2-2, 4-4, triple pulse, 1-1-2. These two parts are the same. Then you've got this part here, which has got just a little difference. It starts off the same, 2-2. Then you've got a triple pulse, 1-1-2, triple pulse. So this one's different. Same, slight change. And then you've got the break. This is the middle of the track, swap into your wider stance, and then it goes same as these two, and a different one. But this different one at the bottom is the same as this. So essentially you're running through this and this twice. So you've got this and this. But these parts are the same. Yeah, and these red parts are the same. So once you can memorise these 4 things, you've basically got it. You know, you've got these 4 things to do, these 4 again. It starts off the same, and it's just got a little change here. Then you've got your break, same, little change. So although LesMills has broken it down into this is your intro, then you've got all this for 2, then you've got the break, then you've got 3, then you've got 4. Sometimes you can look at it and you can see that there's a better way to organise it in your mind. So these are my notes. So I tend to put what the manoeuvre is, what the exercise is, the timing of it, so it's 2-2. This is a note to tell me at what point in the track this is going to happen. So this is like the little bit of the lyric that'll go with it. This is how many that I'm doing. Obviously that's the same. And these are just my little coaching cues. So I'm going to say, you know, I listen to the video and I put down what I think is the most important or the cutest coaching cue to use for this squat 4-4. So in the video they're saying your butt is back and down, your knees are pushing out. Okay, so on the triple pulse here, the coaching cue is three little pulses at the bottom. When they're doing the squat 1-1-2, drop and stop, hold, brace and rise at the bottom. So I've just put those little cues in for myself. Little notes, because what I always do is I always glance at these before my track. This is why these are separate, so I can change the order of them in my notebook. If I ever have to mix up my tracks, I can take them out and in, but don't worry about that for now. So I've got my little notes at the top. Tells me it's a heavy bar, 2 to 4 times my warm-up weight, just as a reminder. And at the reminder at the top as well, we've got the 2 stances, wide and wider. We're going to focus on the fundamentals of great lifting posture. So that's just giving me a little aid when I glance at this, when I've got a class, of just what I'm going to say before I start the track. Okay, so that's what I would glance at while I'm learning. And I can also glance at this in the class, just quickly, just for a couple of seconds while I'm changing my music over, and that is going to be a great aid. Right, okay, let's move on to how I break down the 4 reps, how I remember if it's 4 reps or 8 reps or whatever it is. Okay, so what I do, okay, so say you've got 4 dead rows. So the first rep, I'm just going to perform the dead row. I'm just going to like tip, pull, push and stand. So the second rep, I'm going to put in a coaching cue. So I've already done the first one, just quietly, listening to the music. The second one, I might say to the class, keep your knees soft, little bend in your knees, as I'm performing the second dead row. The third dead row, I might say elbows up and back to the back of the room. Fourth dead row, I'm going to say, right, we've got high pulls next. So that's given me my 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I've done the first manoeuvre, first exercise. I've given them a coaching cue on the second, a coaching cue on the third, and on the fourth rep, I'm setting up what we're going to be doing for high pulls. So if we've got 8 high pulls, it's exactly the same. First rep, I'm just going to do a high pull. Second rep, I'm going to say bar up to the base of your ribs. Third rep, I'm going to say elbows wide. Fourth rep, I'm going to say 4 to go, because we have got 4 to go, and then I'm just going to go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and that's going to give us 8. And that's how I remember to have 8 rather than counting them all down. And what I'll do is I will keep to these same coaching cues every time. You could put more in, but I just find that I just can't remember more than 2 or 3. And I find that getting your coaching cues in the first 4 reps is better for your class as well, because that's the time that they need coaching with their form. And the last 4 reps out of 8 is when they need encouraging to get to the end of the set. So you're coaching at the start and you're encouraging at the bottom, and that also really helps me to remember that I've got 8 and that I've got 4 or however many that I've got. Right, okay, so this is my actual notebook that I use. You'll see that what I've done with this is I've got my coaching cues on this side. This is the backtrack from release 121, and although I haven't put as much in as the squat track because I don't really need to now, I've had a look at it, and although LesMills says this is 1, this is 2 and this is 3, these blue highlighted sections, well, they're all the same. So that was the only bit that I needed to really get into my mind. I knew we were starting because when I glanced at my ring bound notebook here, I could see it was a deadlift 4-4 to start, and then I knew this bit and this bit were the same. And then I just really had to remember this end bit. I've still got how many reps I did. I've got my little coaching cues. I've got my weight on the bar. I've got my little lift, row, pull and press there. One movement per line, because what you'll find also is one movement will be one line of the song, one line of lyrics. So if it says that there are maybe 4 movements, this backtrack wasn't a brilliant example of that. Where it says there are 4 movements, there are probably 4 lines in the verse, and that will help keep you in tempo. So you know, if they've got a line of the verse that's saying take me away, you'll know that you've got that line of verse to perform that movement in. Yeah, okay, so that's how I just do it a little bit quicker. I don't need to do all of this every time, depending on how difficult the track is. So once you've taken your notes, you've got them all down the way you like them, I would say you're going to have to run through, I run through my track daily. I don't stand and do it with weights. I don't do that. I would be absolutely dead. But at least I sit in a chair with some headphones on, I run through the track, and I just do little movements. If it's a squat, I might just do that. You know, if it's a push-up, I might just do a little movement. Just make sure it's in your head. Just running through it daily really does get it in your head. That'll really, really help. If I leave it 3 or 4 days and go back to it, I find I'm making mistakes. So I do go through it daily. You can obviously, you've got your notes there. You're going to have a quick glance at those throughout your class. Obviously as well, LesMills do change their releases, and once you've done a release for a certain amount of time, you'll then be wanting to mix it up for your class. So you'll be doing a few tracks from one release, a few tracks from another release. That's why I quite like having separate pages that I can clip out and clip in. Just saves me having to write it out again, because that got old quite quickly when I was doing that before. The other thing that they don't really tell you very much is it will go wrong sometimes. It just does. You've got a few options when it goes wrong. Just laugh. Normally the class will like, oh yeah, don't worry guys, I've just made a mess of it. We're just gonna have to do a few more reps of these. It's just gonna be a remix. It's gonna be fine. Most of the time they won't even notice. If you've got like, if you've had a bit of a mistake and you've still got maybe 3 or 4 reps to go, you can either have a little break, or you can just keep going with the exercise that you're doing. Just instead of 4 reps, maybe you did 8 of them. Doesn't really matter that much, but you know, just try and keep it together. Just try and keep going. It will be fine. Don't worry about it. No one expects it to be perfect. And at the end of the day, it is only waving your arms about, you know, it's not landing a plane. I love LesMills. I love being a body pump instructor. I know it seems daunting, but I hope you're going to love it too. And I hope this little video helped you, maybe helped you remember a little bit. And till next time, see you later.